Welcome to episode 2 of Discussion Skills Mastery. In our previous lesson, we learned how to express our opinions clearly and confidently. However, expressing an opinion is only the beginning of an effective discussion.
Imagine someone asks you, "Why do you think that?" Would you know how to respond? Many English learners can express an opinion by saying, "I think online learning is good," or, "In my opinion, exercise is important." But when they're asked to explain why, they often hesitate. This is because giving reasons requires us to go beyond simply stating what we believe. We need to explain our thinking. Giving reasons is one of the most valuable communication skills you can develop. Whether you're participating in a classroom discussion, attending a meeting, presenting an idea, or simply having a conversation with friends, people naturally want to understand why you think the way you do.
Strong reasons make your opinions more convincing. They help others understand your perspective and encourage meaningful discussions rather than simple yes or no conversations. In today's lesson, you'll learn how to support your opinions with clear, logical reasons. We'll explore useful expressions, compare weak and strong arguments, analyze real discussion examples, and practice building more convincing responses. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to express not only what you think, but also why you think it. Let's get started. Before we learn useful expressions, let's first understand why giving reasons is so important. Imagine you're having a discussion with a friend. Your friend asks, "Should university education be free?" You answer, "Yes, I think it should." Now imagine your friend asks, "Why?" If you simply repeat, "Because I think so," the conversation stops. Your opinion doesn't give the other person much to think about. Now compare it with this response. "I believe university education should be free because it provides equal opportunities for students from different financial backgrounds." Notice the difference? The second response gives a clear explanation. It tells you not only what you believe, but also the reason behind your opinion. This is what makes discussions interesting. Reasons help people understand your thinking. They encourage deeper conversations. They also allow others to agree, disagree, or build upon your ideas. Whether you're discussing education, technology, health, business, or everyday topics, supporting your opinions with reasons makes you a stronger communicator. It's one of the key differences between simply expressing an opinion and participating in a meaningful discussion. Let's explore the relationship between opinions and supporting reasons. Think of your opinion as the foundation of a house. Without walls and a roof, the foundation alone doesn't create a complete home. In the same way, an opinion without supporting reasons feels incomplete. For example, consider this statement. "I think reading is important." There's nothing wrong with this sentence. It communicates an opinion, but it leaves an important question unanswered. Why? Now let's improve the statement. "I think reading is important because it improves vocabulary, develops critical thinking, and increases knowledge." Can you hear the difference? The second statement is much stronger because it provides clear supporting reasons. It helps the listener understand the speaker's thinking. Let's look at another example. Opinion. "I believe public transport should be free." Now let's add supporting reasons. "I believe public transport should be free because it reduces traffic congestion, protects the environment, and makes transportation more affordable for everyone." Once again, the opinion becomes much more convincing. As discussion participants, our goal isn't simply to state our opinions. Our goal is to explain our thinking in a way that encourages conversation and understanding. And that's exactly what supporting reasons help us do. Now that we understand why supporting reasons are important, let's explore what makes a reason strong and convincing. A strong reason does more than simply explain your opinion. It helps your listener understand your thinking. Imagine someone says, "I think exercise is important." That's a perfectly acceptable opinion. But if someone asks, "Why?"
and the response is, because it's good, the explanation feels incomplete. It doesn't provide enough information to help the listener understand the speaker's point of view. Now compare it with this response. I think exercise is important because it improves physical health, reduces stress, and increases energy levels. This response is much stronger. Why? Because it provides several clear reasons that support the opinion.
Each reason gives the listener more information and makes the argument more convincing. Strong reasons are usually specific, logical, and easy to understand. They answer the question why in a meaningful way. They also encourage further discussion because people can respond to the reasons you've presented. As you improve your discussion skills, try to avoid giving vague explanations. Instead, think carefully about why you hold a particular opinion and explain your reasoning clearly. The more detailed and logical your reasons are, the more confident and persuasive your communication will become. Let's learn some useful expressions that can help you introduce supporting reasons naturally. The most common expression is, because. This is probably the first expression English learners use, and it's also one of the most useful. For example, I enjoy reading because it helps me relax. Simple, clear, and effective. Another useful expression is, one reason is. For example, I believe online learning is beneficial. One reason is that students can study at their own pace. This expression works well because it prepares the listener to hear an explanation. Our next expression is, the main reason is. This phrase is useful when you want to emphasize your strongest point. For example, I support flexible working hours. The main reason is that they improve work-life balance. Another excellent expression is, this is because. For example, I think public parks are important. This is because they provide spaces for exercise and relaxation. Finally, we have, that's why. This phrase is often used to conclude an explanation. For example, regular exercise improves both physical and mental health. That's why I believe everyone should stay active. These expressions make your ideas flow more naturally and help your listener follow your reasoning more easily. As you continue practicing, try to use different expressions rather than relying on because every time. This will make your English sound more varied, natural, and sophisticated. Now let's compare weak reasons with strong reasons. Imagine someone says, I like traveling because it's nice. Grammatically, this sentence is correct. However, the reason is very general. The word nice doesn't tell us much. It doesn't explain why traveling is enjoyable or valuable. Now let's improve the response. I like traveling because it allows me to experience different cultures, meet new people, and learn about the world. Can you hear the difference? The second response paints a much clearer picture. It gives specific reasons that help the listener understand exactly why the speaker enjoys traveling. Let's look at another example. Weak reason. I enjoy reading because it's fun. Strong reason. I enjoy reading because it expands my vocabulary, improves my imagination, and helps me understand different perspectives. Again, the stronger response provides meaningful explanations rather than simple descriptions. Whenever you're preparing for a discussion, challenge yourself to go beyond one-word reasons, such as good, nice, or interesting. Instead, ask yourself, why is it good? Why is it important? What benefits does it provide? The answers to these questions will help you develop stronger arguments and become a more confident discussion participant. Remember, great communicators don't simply tell people what they think. They explain why they think it. And that's what makes their ideas memorable and persuasive. Let's apply what we've learned to our first discussion example. The topic is, should homework be compulsory? Imagine you're participating in a classroom discussion, and your teacher asks for your opinion. You could simply say,
I think homework is important. While this expresses your opinion, it doesn't explain your thinking. Now, let's improve the response. I believe homework is important because it reinforces what students learn in class. Notice the difference. The phrase, I believe, introduces the opinion, while because introduces the supporting reason. Together, they create a much stronger response. Let's think about the reason for a moment. Homework gives students the opportunity to review what they learned during lessons, practice new skills, and identify areas they may need to improve. These are clear and logical reasons that support the opinion. Whenever you're participating in a discussion, don't stop after expressing your opinion. Always ask yourself, can I explain why? A well-supported opinion is always more convincing than an opinion on its own. Let's look at another example. This time, our discussion topic is, should public transport be free? Here's one possible response. From my perspective, free public transport encourages more people to use sustainable transportation. Once again, notice the structure. First, the speaker introduces the opinion using the expression, from my perspective. Then, they explain the reason. In this case, the reason is that free public transport encourages people to choose buses and trains instead of driving private cars. This could help reduce traffic congestion, lower pollution, and make transportation more accessible for everyone. Of course, not everyone will agree with this opinion. Someone else might say, I don't think public transport should be free because it would be too expensive for the government. And that's perfectly acceptable. The purpose of a discussion isn't for everyone to have the same opinion. It's to explain your ideas clearly and support them with logical reasons. Now let's look at some common mistakes learners make when giving reasons. Our first example is, I think because. This sentence feels incomplete. After saying, I think, you should first express your opinion before giving your reason. For example, I think online learning is effective because students can study at their own pace. Now the sentence is complete and much easier to understand. Our second example is, because it is good. Although this is grammatically correct as a phrase, it isn't a complete answer. The listener doesn't know what you're talking about. Instead, combine your opinion and your reason into one complete sentence. For example, I think volunteering is important because it teaches valuable life skills. Finally, remember this simple formula whenever you're expressing your ideas. Opinion plus reason equals stronger communication. The more clearly you explain your reasons, the more confident and persuasive you'll become in discussions. Now it's your turn to put today's lesson into practice. Our discussion topic is, should university education be free? Take a moment to think about your opinion before answering. Remember, there isn't a single correct answer. The goal isn't to agree with everyone else. The goal is to express your own opinion and support it with a clear reason. You might say, I believe university education should be free because it gives every student an equal opportunity to pursue higher education. Or perhaps your opinion is different. You could say, from my perspective, students should contribute to their education because it encourages responsibility and helps universities maintain high-quality facilities. Both answers are valid because they include two important elements: a clear opinion and a supporting reason. Now I'd like you to pause the video and create your own response. Try to speak naturally. Don't worry about making mistakes. The more you practice expressing your ideas aloud, the more confident you'll become. Take a few moments now to formulate your answer. Let's reflect on today's activity. After expressing your opinion, ask yourself these 3 questions. First, did you explain why you hold that opinion? Remember, opinions become stronger when they're supported by logical reasons. Second, was your reason clear and easy to understand? Imagine someone hearing your explanation for the first time. Would they understand your thinking? Or would they still have questions? Clear communication is just as important as correct grammar. Finally,
Did your reason actually support your opinion? Sometimes learners provide information that's interesting but doesn't directly explain their viewpoint. Always make sure your reason answers the question, why do I believe this?
These 3 reflection questions are useful not only in English lessons, but also in meetings, presentations, interviews, and everyday conversations. Asking yourself these questions will gradually improve the quality of your discussions. Let's review what we've learned today. We began by understanding why giving reasons is an essential part of effective communication. We discovered that opinions become much stronger when they are supported by logical explanations. Next, we compared simple opinions with opinions that included supporting reasons. We also learned several useful expressions, including because. One reason is, the main reason is, this is because, and that's why. These expressions help us explain our thinking clearly and naturally.
We also explored the difference between weak reasons and strong reasons. Strong reasons are specific, meaningful, and easy for others to understand. Finally, we applied everything we learned through discussion examples and a practical speaking challenge. Remember this simple formula. Opinion plus supporting reason equals stronger communication. Whenever someone asks for your opinion, don't stop after sharing what you think. Take the next step and explain why. That simple habit will make you a much more confident and effective communicator. In our next lesson, we'll explore another important discussion skill, using examples to support your opinion. Giving reasons is a great start, but adding examples makes your arguments even more convincing. You'll learn how to use expressions such as, for example, for instance, such as, and to illustrate. By the end of that lesson, you'll be able to support your opinions with both strong reasons and relevant examples, making your discussions even more engaging and persuasive. I look forward to learning with you in the next episode. Thank you for joining me in today's lesson. I hope you now feel more confident about supporting your opinions with clear and meaningful reasons. Remember, becoming a confident communicator doesn't happen overnight. It happens one discussion, one conversation, and one lesson at a time. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Everyday English Treats for more lessons on discussion skills, communication, business English, grammar, vocabulary, and everyday English. And if you'd like to continue improving your discussion skills, be sure to watch the next episode in this series. Happy learning with Everyday English Treats. Until next time, take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every small step brings you closer to fluency. See you in the next lesson. Cookies, sparkles.